teamwork field trip. Dash learns pony smart.
You know it's a good episode when this is the first thing we see. Princess Celestia's school is underfunded and can't afford a single field trip. Meanwhile, the Princess of Friendship uses her friends for free faculty labor, pockets most of the school's budget, then spends a small fraction of it on frivolous trophies to keep the friends motivated. My Little Pony, friendship is corruption. Speaking of motivation, what are Dash's and AJ's motivations for wanting to lead the trip so badly if it's just one small class of 6 students? Are their votes worth more or what?
Section 147, paragraph 2 states that teamwork is a key part of friendship, and Section 229, paragraph 9 says...
Sections 147 and 229 are right next to each other somehow. Why are these 6 the only students on the field trip anyway? This is a rhetorical question with only 2 potential answers, of course. Either Twilight showing special treatment to use the students for their political connections, or Twilight thinks non-pony creatures need special education to correct their savage ways. Either way, it's Chancellor Naysay approved.
Every creature, follow the leader.
Know your place, creatures. Ponies are your leader. Applejack doesn't even try to hide her thinly veiled scheme to acquire child labor for the farm. It takes this long for the field trip episode to start the field trip. Oh, but then however would we catch on to the subtle conflict between these two? The episode also really needed those 5 minutes to set up the award, which they immediately forget about anyway. The size of the shed changes suddenly, making every pony look tiny by comparison. It's the return of... Poor Dashie. She's so motivated to beat this record that she forgot the premise of the episode was to win over the students so they'd vote for her. She also forgot that speed records are a lot easier when you go downstream, not upstream.
Any questions? You wanna have questions?
No time for him. Get in the boat.
Wait, Dash, what if they had questions about how to vote for Teacher of the Month? Isn't that the entire reason we're doing all of this? Snarky disregard for safety won't win votes? Or maybe just Gallus's vote? Applejack is actively sabotaging the canoe trip by giving conflicting orders. This doesn't help her win their favor or win the speed record. At least Dash tried to build a shed for her activity. This is just dishonest.
When every creature starts listening to me.
Calm down, Dash. We know you're angry, but there's no reason to drop slurs like that. All of the students paddle on one side, yet some invisible magic force propels the canoe straight upstream with ease.
If we go left, we'll be heading straight into the barracuda fish.
Don't worry, every pony knows that pony-eating fish only gather around checkered flags. As long as there are no Oh no, who put that there?
Who cares about a few fish?
Careful, Dashie. Insensitive remarks like that might offend any fish ponies present. Yona immediately loses consciousness after being underwater for all of 5 seconds. Suddenly, Twilight Sparkle appears. She doesn't have any reason to come here, nor does her appearance serve any real purpose, other than suggesting a nature hike next. Maybe she came here so arbitrarily and so suddenly because she has a magic spell on the students, which warns her when one of them is about to cause a very expensive lawsuit.
It's been like this all day.
I wouldn't say all day, just 99% of it.
If anyone tries to tell you this is a bad episode, just tell them it's not all bad, just 99% of it.
You're competing with each other. I thought you were past that.
Competition bad. No one wants to see Rainbow Dash and AJ compete. It's not like that's one of the most fun, most wholesome, and most beloved character interactions of the entire show. Season 8 is so enlightened that we're past that now. Twilight's oblivious existence in this episode is worth a sin in itself. The main character of the show reduced to the Princess of Exposition.
Does that mean you'll give us another chance at the teacher of the...
Field trip?
Dash helps AJ by cutting her off before admitting selfish intentions. Dash should have let her talk and act surprised when she makes herself look bad in front of Twilight, but instead, Dash does something genuinely nice and contradictory to her so-called competition by putting her hoof in AJ's mouth. They do the whole, no, we'll go your way, no, we'll go your way thing, but AJ never actually specified a direction, so that's a whole extra layer of being obnoxious on top of an already obnoxious and disingenuous trope. This Scooby-Doo gag feels like an alien or a robot replicating a motif from human media without understanding what made it funny to begin with. There's no goofy music, no jokes, no circumvention of expectations, nothing. Seeing the same rock over and over would imply they're going in circles, but one of the times the rock is in a whole different location. Smolder remembers she has wings and flies up to scout ahead. If Dash wanted to impress them and win their votes for Teacher of the Month, why didn't she fly up and do this a very long time ago? The only two reasonable explanations are that either she learned from Fallweather friends not to use her wings to give herself an advantage, therefore remaining lost out of her own selfless need not to be the center of attention, or the episode just forgot she has wings and doesn't care.
We can just fly everyone over and be done.
Finally, after multiple agonizing minutes of screaming at our screens, questioning their collective stupidity, Gallus suggests they simply fly home. Of course, if they fly home now, the episode wouldn't be long enough. So instead of learning the virtues of teamwork by helping each other get home safely, Apple Dash do this nonsense. This nonsense, which deserves a separate sin, because if the whole point of not flying home is to teach a lesson about teamwork, why are the students not involved with this at all? This isn't even a demonstration of teamwork since AJ and Dash refuse to work together. Applejack breaks off this tiny piece of vine with ease and yet somehow expects it to hold all of their weight as a bridge. Of course, if strong vines are used, then it actually makes the most sense to bridge the gap. And since they took each other's idea, it was Applejack who wanted to build a very impractical twig bridge that could kill some pony. Unless this was some kind of mind game where AJ suggested the least practical option, knowing Dash would steal it. But we've seen no indication of this episode's capacity for such a big brain ploy. The point is, this scene has no point. AJ and Dash immediately call for help instead of rescuing themselves like the capable main character heroes they once were in the past. You know, the students might actually be really cool if their only accomplishments didn't come at the expense of established characters unestablishing themselves.
At least now they're agreeing on something.
Is yelling for help simultaneously really the same as agreement about something? Also, they've spent the second half of this episode disingenuously agreeing on everything, so where have you been?
I can't get out!
Rainbow Dash can't get out. The Bitacudas finally appear only now to randomly defeat AJ's lasso. They should have appeared before either of them called for help to counter the very simple solution of breaking free and jumping into the water. Their timing is just a little too conveniently inconvenient. Or perhaps inconveniently convenient for a lazy script.
We gotta get our professors out of there. Any creature have a plan?
Silly Sandbar. Plans are for any pony. Creatures don't make plans.
We need to work fast and together.
Awkward wording suggests they each need to play a role, not because the goal is to save lives, but because the goal is for each character to get an equal share of the spotlight. That's what's really important here. Equality. Pre-reform Starlight Glimmer approved. To be fair, in Fallweather Friends, they also just stood around chatting casually during important moments of the episode. But to be unfair, Fallweather Friends wasn't exactly life-threatening, or written by a cat walking across the keyboard. Ocellus plays around with these fish, instead of changing into any number of different things which could have single-hoofedly saved the helpless damsels in distress. Piranhas are usually depicted as swarming group hunters in media. In our reality, they are quite harmless contrary to popular fiction, but this being a fictional cartoon, you'd think these piranha-like fish would rip her apart. The fact they're chased away with ease is a little too realistic, and it undermines any sense of danger if Dash could have simply whipped out her freakish Timberwolf roar on them.
I am a damsel in distress. Help me, every creature.
Yak learn pony smart.
Up until now, the episode went out of its way to depict the students as being the only sensible ones. Yono was almost killed by the ponies' incompetence, but now they're smart, somehow. For some reason. It's impossible to send this episode without sounding like something's taken out of context or excluded. But no, the episode really does just forget its own basic premise again and again. It's a jumbled mess of cliched story beats with nothing connecting them. This was the lost pilot for Pony Life all along.
It was kinda crazy genius. They showed us what not to do so we'd figure out what we should do.
By this episode's
Really?
logic, no one should be upset about atrocities and injustices in the world because they're all just teaching moments. Don't you see? Their behavior was a good thing, worthy of praise and a special award. The happy background music told us so.
Our professors built bridges the wrong way just to show us how important teamwork is.
It is genuinely baffling and genuinely unclear whether or not the students are doing a bit of trolling. What do they have to gain from sugarcoating the objectively bad experience? What is anyone's motivation for anything in this cop-out of an episode? Is this all one big joke? This whole episode is Discord approved.
We know it's too early to pick the teacher of the month.
Thanks, Ocellus. Good on you for suddenly bringing that up unprompted so we can pretend this is a conclusion of some kind. Speaking of the Teacher of the Month award, we've already seen the fact AJ and Dash contradict this basic premise by not even trying to win over the students' votes, and the fact there are many more students than just these 6 to appease, but there's another glaring issue. The subplot is presented backwards. We start the episode with the punchline about Fluttershy winning the award, and we end the episode with AJ and Dash arguing about who deserves it. Genuinely, how do you mess that up? This episode might be more coherent if you watch it in reverse. Rainbow Dash says no one can understand AJ's country bumpkin talk, and Applejack responds by saying they both live in the same town. But the response overlaps the accusation, so AJ must have read her mind. Kudos to Ashley Ball for talking over herself, though. This isn't a Dash versus Applejack episode, it's them versus the students. In Fall Weather Friends, mean-spirited actions were brief and highly motivated by competition. In Non-Compete Clause, these two are mean-spirited and disingenuous the entire time in lieu of any sort of actual competition. The only sane characters for the audience to relate to are the students. The students deserve better. It's a shame they can only be shown in a positive light by tearing down other characters. Also known as the Spike episode effect.
Congratulations, every creature. You're the new Spike. Now let's go!